Hello, and you're welcome to Teens Connect, the platform where young adults can say anything, everything, and how they want to say it. I am Kofi, your host, and today promises to be a very interesting, exciting, and thought-provoking episode of our show. Today, we have a very new lineup of panelists, except a few, and I'd like them to introduce themselves. So, Prince, tell us more about yourself. Who are you?
I'm Prince Mauto from Salbuchi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hetty, how about you?
I'm Henrietta Collins from Prince Manuel Seventh-day Adventist Church.
I heard you completed SHS quite recently. How true is that?
Oh yes, I did.
Okay, so how was the WASI? Was it easy or?
It was cool.
You don't want to comment?
You are just waiting for the results.
All right. That's very, very excellent. We also have people you might have become familiar to Pastor Aivo and Nancy Echampong. So we are going to have a very interesting discussion. But before that, we have the Lock Eye contest, where our contestants are going to answer some questions while staring at each other. They cannot turn their faces or even make any gestures. They just have to look at each other and write without even looking at the paper, just writing. And because it's a maiden edition, you want to have some gender balance in the final. So we are going to have the two guys first, the two young, the man and the old, I don't want to say old man, but Prince and Pastor, and we also have Nancy and Hetty in the second round, the second semi-final, leading up to the final. Stay tuned. We are going to delve into it right now. And so, you are welcome to the Lock Eye Chamber. This is a place where they are going to answer questions without looking at each other. And whilst looking at each other, without looking anywhere else, focused on each other. I am your quiz master, Kofi, and this is going to be a very stern contest. So, the first question is, how old was Jesus when he was stuck in the temple with his parents? How old was Jesus? And you have 5 seconds to write it in words. So they have 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, stop. No looking anywhere else. Fixed on him. The second question. Who is the mother of John the Baptist? Who is the mother of John the Baptist? And wait for me to tell you to write before you write, please. No cheating. Who is the mother of John the Baptist? The name is a very interesting and very long one, but you have only 2 seconds to write this. And you have to write it as neatly as possible. Who is the mother of John the Baptist? 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, that's it. Another question. I am a king. And the Apostle Paul was tried before me. I am known to have said that he nearly convinced me to be a Christian. Who is this king? 3, 2, 1, go. Seems like nobody's writing anything. Okay. So, the last question of this segment, first round. Keep your eyes fixed on each other until I tell you to do otherwise, please. So, the last question. Who is the father of Methuselah? Who is the father of Methuselah? Nobody wrote an answer, and so I think we'd have to hold your answers to our audience to see who won. So the first question was, how old was Jesus when he was lost at the temple? You can cast your eyes off each other now. So the first question, this red is for Pastor and yellow is for Prince. Pastor wrote Jesus was 12 years and Prince wrote Jesus was 12 years, which is correct. Now, the second question was, who was the mother of John the Baptist? The answer is Elizabeth. Pastor wrote Elizabeth. Unfortunately, Prince could not get it right. The third question was, who did Paul nearly convince to be a Christian? It was Agrippa. And Pastor wrote Festus. And for the fourth question, nobody answered. The father of Methuselah was Enoch. And so, that is the end of our first round of the Lock Eye contest. You may take your seat while I invite our other two contestants in the second semi-final. It's a very, very interesting contest. You could tell that if this one is an exam, somebody scored 25%. If it was an exam, another person scored 50. Nobody could even score 75. Let's see what our two ladies have for us in the next round or the second semi-final of the Lock Eye contest. Hetty and Nancy, you are both welcome to the second semi-final of the Lock Eye contest. I'm sure somebody would look somewhere else in this round, but we cannot ascertain that as at yet. So, you're supposed to keep your eyes focused on each other whilst writing legibly the answers to the questions I ask. Because if you do not write well, I cannot award you the mark and you are out. So, let's start. Are you ready? Keep your eyes on each other. Not looking anywhere else. If you look anywhere else, I'm sorry, I have to disqualify you. And so, the first question. What was the name of the king who conquered Israel and sent them into captivity? What was the name of the Babylonian king who conquered Israel and sent them into captivity? 3, 2, 1, answer. I hate you, not writing anything. You even looked at me. You're out. You're out before the contest even started. I'm sorry, you've broken our rules. You're supposed to focus on Nancy. Well, unfortunate, but you have to let him go so early on in the contest. So we have to say goodbye to Hetty.
Oh.
See how interesting it was. She couldn't even answer the first question. So, unfortunately, you have to exit. You were the only contestant who could not write an answer. And the only contestant who looked elsewhere. Like Lot's wife. This one you could have easily turned into a pillar of salt. So, unfortunately, please can you take your leave to allow Pastor to come and contest in the final of the Lock Eye contest.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And so, we are into the final of the Lock Eye contest. 1. Are you ready?
Yes.
So, what did God make on the first day of creation? Okay. Second question. Who was the father of David? And who was the grandfather of David for the third question? And last but not the least, but we said we're going to ask a question, the tiebreaker, to determine who wins the contest. Who is the current union president of the Southern Ghana Union Conference? Okay, time up. Wait! You looked at me when I told you not to. So, Pastor, you're out. We didn't even consider the answers. You're not supposed to look at me. Oh, Pastor, we pardon you. You are going. But, so, Nancy is the winner of the Lock Eye contest. I'm not sure your answers are more correct than Pastor's one. But Pastor didn't obey the instructions, rather unfortunately. And so, this brings an end to the lock eye contest. Stay tuned. We'll do this some other time. As I said earlier, we have very interesting topics today. We are going to be discussing on careers. That is the broad topic. And so, I'd like us to read our topic of the day, think about it, whilst we discuss hashtag the big question, hashtag the big question. So our topic of today has to do with a boy called James Jackson. He's a very interesting character. He's born into a family of doctors. His father was a doctor. His mother was a doctor. His grandfather was a doctor. His great-grandfather was a doctor. Legend has it that his great-great-grandfather was the personal physician to Kwame Nkrumah. And so, James Jackson has no choice, but he has to be a doctor. But unfortunately, James, he can do the science, but he feels like it is his calling to become a carpenter. He feels that he's very good at carpenter. And he's even qualified to call it woodwork engineering. And so James feels that he will be the best woodwork engineer in Ghana. But he doesn't know how to tell his parents. And so he's mastering courage, but he can't imagine if he says, Daddy, I think I'll be a very good woodwork engineer. His father will say, oh, get out of there. What woodwork engineer? And then you say, but it's good. And so because of this scenario that he's facing in his mind, he can't really wrap around his mind to tell his parents. So what does James do? Think about it whilst we discuss the big question. So the big question is, how do we effectively choose our careers? How? How do you know what God has purpose for you to do on this earth? And so, Pastor, I would like you to set the ball rolling for us. What is the biblical viewpoint on careers?
Biblical viewpoint in careers is talents that God gives you. It shows your parents see it. Although some parents, when they see it, they don't like it. They want to steer you in a different direction. In our world now, we want everybody to make money. So they will steer the girls into nursing, some place that they can get jobs when they finish school and earn some income, good money. So when you come up with, oh, I want to be a seamstress. No, they say go to school so you can become a doctor, a lawyer, something in that line of careers. So our parents end up choosing our careers. Except you have very godly parents who will leave you in the hands of God and prayerfully support you in what they see you have talents to do. So that's the situation. And our parents are choosing our careers for us. And sometimes you don't perform well because you don't have that gift. You don't have that gift. If you are working in a situation where that is your passion and that's your talent, working becomes like you're having fun and getting paid for it. But if you are forced into something you are not interested in and you have to do it to please your parents, then you will forever be miserable doing it and you will not perform to the peak. Although the Bible says, whatsoever your hand findeth to do, do it with all your might. But parents have control over us on this earth.
All right, that sets the ball rolling. Prince, I wanted to find out, should we choose our careers based on our passion or what we are good at? Let me give you an example. I'm using Nancy. She would be a bit unhappy, but let's say Nancy, she likes general arts. She thinks she would like being a lawyer, but the general arts, she's getting F in chains. Whereas she can do well in business, even though she doesn't like it, but with any small effort, she can get A's. Which one should she choose? How do we choose between passion and ability?
And when you're thinking of careers you want to do in future, you should consider what you are good at and what you have ability to do. So if Nancy has the ability to do business and earn more in business, then she should rather pursue that area. Because studies have shown that people who do what they are best in and what they have the ability to do, what they can learn on their own, they are more productive and they are happier at their workplaces. Yeah.
Okay, so Nancy, are you saying that if you like general art but you can't do it, you won't do it?
If I like it,
But your brain, no, I'm not saying you, I'm just giving an example. Your brain cannot correlate well. Will you still do it?
no, I'll switch to the one I can do better.
So, I need Hetty, what do you think?
I think she should go for what she can
So it's not about what she likes.
do. It's about what she likes. That's basically it.
But what I can do it, I don't like it. How do I, what do I choose?
Or then go for what you like.
A, and I should continue to get a F.
Yeah. You can actually, if you put your mind to it, you can do it.
So she
No, I tried to say, let's say, visual arts and business.
As he's saying, his father is a doctor, his mother, his grandfather,
no,
and everything.
that's for our topic of the day. But I'm saying, if you have passion for something, but you cannot do it, whereas
Okay.
you have you can do something, but you don't have the passion for it. How do you choose?
Well, I'll choose the one like I know. Let's say I want to be a businessman in future, but I'm still not doing well in business. I'll still try hard and still do it. I'll move something else because that means I'm changing everything. Like I'm changing the whole thing. So I'll still have to stick with business.
Pastor, what's your take? Should you first
My
follow
take,
passion?
I will talk about my
ability.
take. It's very prestigious to work on Wall Street in America. You get to wear a suit, a white shirt, cut poor shoes, take a limo home at night, sit at the back like you're reading the newspaper. You're very important. And all your neighbors respect you because of that. But my gift is only two: driving and teaching. The prestige is fine, but I always watch people driving taxis and I say, you know something, that's what I should be doing. It has no prestige, it has nothing, but that's where my passion is. So I remember when I left Wall Street to drive a cab, everybody thought I was absolutely crazy. Why would you leave such a prestigious place, office air conditioned, to be in the street hustling? But in a few years, I was better off than anybody who was in my rank in Wall Street. Why? I was doing something I was passionate about, something that I love, something that I know God has put inside me.
But Pastor, here's the case that if I do what I am passionate about,
Your parents will kill you.
no, not even that. I might end up being an average lawyer, whilst I could be a top-class businessman because I have the ability to do it. And so, even though you have to think about it now, it's also about the future. Or what's your take? Should I continue to be a happy, average lawyer, rather than be a top-class businessman and in the big bucks?
In fact, you don't know your future. True or false?
True.
You don't. So you put it in God's hands. What He has put in you, that's where your success will come. Because you will always want to do what you're passionate about. You will go and do it. Look at this man. There was a man at Andrews University. He was a provost, but he is a carpenter. The man loves carpentry. So if you go to his basement, he has all the equipment there. And he cannot wait to leave school to go home to do his carpentry stuff. And he sells those stuffs and makes good money. You ask him, but why are you in this and not in this full time? He said, my parents will kill me if I told them I want to be. They want me to go to school, get a master's, get a PhD, and be somebody that they want. So I did it for them. But this is for me. This is where I feel very comfortable. So people are living in plan B because what they really want to do, they're not doing it. And they don't like what they're doing. But society, prestige, and whatever comes with it.
Okay. Pastor, to this dynamic Prince, have you found a career that you want to pursue full time? Have you found your calling?
I don't know, but dreams changes, and so everyday dream changes. So when you focus on doing something, you study around it, and you think of it whether you have the ability to do it. When you have the ability to do it, would you like it when you go into it deeper, or you like to just do something shallow and find something to?
So have you found your calling?
Yeah.
You found your calling.
Yeah.
Would you like to share with us?
Okay, so I want to pursue something in medicine or pharmacy.
Okay, that's great. Nancy, have you found your calling?
Yes.
This was that.
I want to be an entrepreneur as well as a businesswoman.
In what field exactly?
Like business. Like I want to be a philanthropist, so I want to at least work hard and get a lot of money. That way I can also help others with that job.
Okay, Hetty, what have you found your calling?
Yeah, I have.
What is that? Do you like to share with us?
Yes, I want to be an accountant.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
So, you all have found your calling. But there are people like me who have not found our calling. We do not know what exactly we are called to do. And it will shock you that it's quite common among people of our generation. People are there who do not know what they want to do. So, first I want to ask, what is your advice to these people like myself who do not know yet what they want to do?
People will be telling you. People observe you, and they will be telling you, are you thinking of this? Are you thinking of this? And as they tell you, you examine yourself and say, wow, why are 2 or 3 people telling me? What are they seeing in me? Telling me I could be better at this. Could I be? And then you see your grades at school, you can tell. If they say be a doctor and you can't spell chemistry properly, then you know that's not it. And you should know what you're capable of doing. And people will tell you.
Alright, so people's opinions would tell us. Nancy, do you know friends like that who have not yet found what they want to do?
Yeah, I'm sure I have friends like that. I'm not, but I know there's someone who doesn't know.
How do you help such a friend?
I can help you by maybe looking at how you are. Maybe she's quiet, no, she doesn't talk much. Someone like that, something like nursing will fit the person.
Really?
Yes. Mostly nurses are not like, how should I say? They're mostly quiet, calm, yes, and everything. So if I look at you, I can tell you, like, try nursing.
Okay, so Hetty, how would you help such a friend?
I'll tell you to sit down and know what you like best. Then you can explore. You can look for careers around what you like. For example, I like business management, so I'll go around doing research as to what job opportunities I can get from that.
Okay, all right. That's very great. So, but Pastor, how about some of us, like my friends here, who have made their decision, but as Prince said, time changes and plans change and passions change. How do you advise them to change their career trajectory. Because sometimes, let's say I studied engineering, but I realized I want to do finance. That's our educational system supports that kind of change.
Yes.
How
There are
how
so many courses online that you can take while you're doing something else.
Okay.
If you are in the field and you know this is definitely a mistake, because you hate going to work, that's a first sign that you don't like what you're doing. You need to change it. And I've always encouraged people. There are some pastors who don't like to go to church. It's like you have to drag them to go. They don't like to go witnessing. They don't. Get off the pastoral field and go do something else that excites you. Work must come with some excitement. You got to be sitting down and thinking of your job. Tomorrow, what am I going to do? How can I improve? I want to take it one step further. How can I do this? It should be something that urges you to focus on your job.
So, Pastor, most of us are in school. So, if I'm getting you
What courses
right,
are you good at? Are you a science or you have problem
it's
with
personal
physics?
now.
You problem with physics and science, or you cool with history? And where are you? What do you feel comfortable going? Which class you do all your homework before they ask you, you finish it? And which ones you plan to the nice excuse to give to the teacher? So that's what happened. That's where you see what you are. The teachers you like, the ones that give you the A grade, yeah, that's your area. The ones you hate to see, biology, they say open up an animal. Nursing is not your field. You see blood, you jump. So you know, you are made, we are all made differently. So you know, like accountant, many of computer programs, Excel and others, are doing your job. They do it very well, no mistakes. So you have to think of that area. So would there be jobs in 5 years when 5G starts rolling and all those things can, would they need me to be there? Or I need a second. That's why we have majors and minors, you know. If you major in your minor and then.
Okay. That's a very interesting one. So we should consider ourselves. So that has been a very, very insightful analysis of our big question, how to choose our careers. And I'm sure you've learned a lot. Number one, look at what you are good at. There are some things that you really see that you are not really the best at. You have to look at those ones. Number two, listen to what people say. Sometimes someone can tell you that you need to, you should consider media, or you should consider arts, you should become a footballer. Maybe that is your calling. And so sometimes you have to prayerfully listen to them, and maybe God is using them to speak to you. And last but not least, as we learnt, last but not least, always pray to God about this, that He should direct you in where you should go, because He says that He has a plan for us to prosper us, and so let's keep on trusting Him. And on that note, I'd like us to go on a quick break whilst we come and talk about James Johnson. Stay tuned. You are welcome from the break. And as I said previously, we are going to discuss our friend James Johnson. He is just a pseudonym for a friend who sent us this request. He said this is his problem, we should help him. And likewise, you also can send us your problems and your requests so that we can help you get out of them on the number displayed below. So kindly send us your request and we'll find our best using top-notch resource persons like Pastor Ivo to discuss such issues. So, let's start. James Johnson, his father is a doctor. His grandfather was a doctor. His great-grandfather was the physician to Kwame Nkrumah. And so, yeah, he doesn't have any choice. Nancy, are you in such a situation? You have the liberality to choose what you want.
Yes, please.
I'm guessing the same for Hetty and Prince. Okay, Pastor Ivo, when you were a child, were you forced to go to this line, become a teacher, a lawyer? Were you forced into a line?
When I was small, I thought I would be an aeronautic engineer.
Wow.
Because my grandmother used to sew, and I was able to do anything with that machine. When it breaks down, they have to wait for me to come and fix it. Very little. Everybody thought I was going to be an engineer, but when I got to secondary school, my physics teacher told me that was not my field.
Was it not your field because you were too good or otherwise?
I think the otherwise would make that question better. So the education taught me that I shouldn't even think of that. So I thought I was going to be in business. But then looking at how things were, no. So I kept going. And business was another way. You know, it's not one thing, it has to be something else. So business was my next choice. Well, my brother was a business person. You drive nice cars, you live in a nice house, and so you think, hey, if this one won't work, this should work. Business is good. You import something, you sell it. Ghana business, if you sell water, you call yourself business person. Whatever you sell, you think you're in business. Hopefully you get a break and you make a little more money. But those are peripherals. That's not what is inside of you. When I was doing business in America, after I left and drove the taxi, through the taxi I was able to go to university. Through the taxi, I added insurance to it, and I became a very big person. Instead of driving, I had drivers. I had 120 drivers under me. Still the taxi. So, while I was doing that, Pastor Ewu came to America. When he comes, he stays with me. And somehow he saw I should be a pastor. I said, something is wrong with you. It's not for everybody to be a pastor. I like what I'm doing. I like making money, wearing nice boots, Omega or Rolex watches. I like to live a cool life. If I'm a pastor, people will think I'm taking church money. So I like to be where I am. He says, no. You'll be a fine pastor. The way you explain things, I say, all right, I'll try it. So I preached 2 sermons, and when people come out, it's like, oh, I was blessed. Oh, the Lord touched my heart. Oh, I want to give my life to Jesus. I said, what did I do? I just said a few words. And they are all so blessed. So when I was kidnapped, I made that deal with God. I said, if they don't kill me, I'll become a pastor. I know it's something. I know it's something I can do. So I went that route, and it was good.
So you had a long.
I have a long. I'm still on it. I'm not done.
Okay.
Now I'm on excellency pathway.
Okay, that's great. And so, how do we help? How does he tell his parents that his calling is not medicine?
He has to be frank with your parents. Your parents are not, they will get angry for a minute because they had high hopes for you. They think you will do better as a doctor, but if you explain to them, I can't even see blood. My heart beats. I don't like sick people. I cannot stand sick people. I cannot do this. And then they will tell you, let's pray about it and all that. Don't go and tell them, I won't be a doctor, I want to be a carpenter. Say, hey. Be very nice about it. I had a friend like that.
But Pastor, before you tell us about your friend, Nancy, how do you go about it?
Okay, first, maybe my teacher in school, he knows I'm very good at business, not visual arts. I mean, I'm good at visual arts.
Yes.
So let me go to visual arts, not business. So maybe I'll tell the teacher to come and talk to my parents. Maybe they'll understand.
Friends, how did you tell your parents?
Okay, so apart from carpentry, there are a whole lot of jobs that others would like to hop onto apart from doctrine. So I'll try to look at the world as it is now, and maybe when you complete school, you'll be able to get a job, and those jobs that will be available will what you like be in those domains, or what your parents like be in that domain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because let's say there's a huge lineage of doctors, and so you are the only one to forfeit that lineage of doctors. And I don't even know. But we have a very bad image of artisans in Ghana. We consider them as unqualified. Hetty, why do you think that is so?
Sometimes they don't have the modern tools. They don't have modern tools that they can use. So sometimes we turn out to look down on them and their job.
Oh yeah, I see. So it's about they are a bit archaic and backwards.
Yes.
Nancy, how about you? Why do we tend to not discriminate per se, but look spitefully upon such professions?
Professions like
artisans, carpentry, welding, mechanics.
in modern world, we are looking out for money. Carpentry is not something which you get like.
I'm sure a lot of carpenters will be angry at you.
No, there's some carpenters who really have money. Yes, some of them, but then carpentry is not something which generates a lot of money. I'm talking like from nowadays our modern world, because it's money. So you can't say I'm going to be a carpenter when your parents, everyone is a doctor, this and this. Hopefully when you break the chain and start like the chain of poverty, because that job, but it depends on where you want to go to in carpentry.
So I'm saying that if he ventures into carpentry, he might start a chain of poverty in the family.
Yes, because carpentry is just start with like it doesn't just boom like that. Unlike being a doctor or something, it doesn't just boom. But if you get maybe to work with someone who is big and you can start early, but to me, I don't think you should try carpentry.
But Nancy, there are a lot of big time carpenters.
Yes.
Because a lot of things, and so I don't think we should limit ourselves to this kind of carpenter and other tree.
But if I were to be his mother or something, I'll tell him to go for it. Because if you're really passionate about it, you end up like with a very big business and even booms fast.
Because he's calling it woodwork engineering. And
see,
it's
very nice, you see. It's very, heavy, woodwork engineer. So obviously, if you are passionate about it, not just the ability, if you are passionate about it, I think you go far.
And Prince.
So what makes an artisan a bad artisan? There are two things. Plato said that a good artisan with poor equipment becomes a bad artisan. Also, there are some artisans also that have a target. As soon as they hit that target, then they tend to lose everything down. And that's when they also become bad artisans. So the thing about artisanship is that when you are passionate about it, no matter whether it's booming or whether you have poor equipment, you try to strive very hard to make good crafts. Yeah.
All right. Pastor, if your child came to you telling you that he wanted to be a carpenter, will you allow him?
Yes.
And on what grounds?
You see, the relationship about you talking to your parent is the relationship you already have with your parents. If you are a good child who communicates freely with your parents and you let your parents involve in your life, you tell them everything that goes on in your life and in your head, you will feel very comfortable at the dining table to say, say, Daddy, we need to talk. I'm confused about my career. I really don't want to do this. I want to do this. And why? Because of this and this and this. My grades are not good here. And I've been praying about this. And I feel I will do good in this field. They will drive you to a place to see if you can do some volunteer work there and see how you actually fit in. If you come out and they can see this is a blessing, why not?
All right. Pastor.
Yes.
Before we continue, I asked you to pause about a story of a friend.
Yeah.
Can you kindly share?
My friend's father became a doctor at 28.
Whoa.
And he was very successful. He has a private jet that he takes along to do voluntary work in places. Came to Uganda and places. Very good. His first son is a doctor. The second one is a girl. She's a business person. The third one, they want him to also be a doctor. They took him to all the medical places. No. What does he want to be? He wants to be a painter. And it was like, the whole family was like, what is wrong with you? How can you be a painter? And his painting, he paints the interior of boats. Very expensive boats. He knows how to mix paint, and he paints that. Now, he's a little paint he paints, he can make $75,000 just painting inside those luxurious yachts. And that's what he does. And they have to accept it. Because he fails everything that has to do with medicine.
He didn't pass any of the medical schools.
He didn't pass it. Either it was deliberate or he didn't get it. But he kept telling them from a kid that I'm going to be a painter. He said, you don't want to be a doctor? You have all the equipment, you have all the facilities available to you. Your father will be retiring. He says, no, he wants to be a painter. And he's a painter.
Wow.
So as parents, allow your children to communicate with you. When you resist them, then you never get the truth. They start lying. And some of them will start praying for you to die so they can go and do what they want to do. So parents should be able to, children should be able to open up to their parents. Tell them everything. Is that possible?
Yes.
Is that possible? Oh, you're laughing. I'm going to ask you.
All right. Thank you so much. So I think our advice to our brother James Johnson is that please talk to them nicely. Number one. Number two, please show an interest in the carpentry you want to pursue. And I think our advice to ourselves generally is that these artisans, is it because we don't have our top students? This is addressed to Nancy. Is it because we don't have our top students going into carpentry? Is that the reason why we tend to look down upon it?
I'm sure, because most people don't go into carpentry.
And another professional, not carpentry alone. So sometimes our brother James Johnson, maybe you might be the person to make carpentry a popular profession. And you might be the one to inspire generations after you who would want to be carpenters instead of following the normal lawyer, doctor tradition.
Yes, and Michael Amy, I also want to say that follow your passion. Whatever they are saying, sometimes you just have to, I would say ignore, they are your parents, but just follow your passion, what you feel you can do and do best. That's what I think you should do. Don't say, oh, they want me to become a doctor. When you clearly, because one, doctor, you are dealing with people and you can easily kill someone. So you should just follow your passion. When you feel, I want to do this, please do that. Don't try to branch somewhere just because someone says do this. Yeah.
All right. So, James, you have heard a lot. Just continue to push for that career. Maybe God has intended for you to inspire a lot of future carpenters. And also, I'd like to say that we should try as much as possible to give respect to some artisans, because not all of them might be a woodwork engineer in quote, but some of them are really doing their best, and that's their passion, and so we should allow them the space to express themselves. But James, pray. God could have a plan for you to become the best carpenter in the world. Woodwork engineer, I'm sorry. And so that's our advice to our brother James. All right. So to wind down, I would like to ask, is there any question somebody has to ask Pastor on any topic? Nancy, Prince, Hetty. Any question? Nancy has a question.
Some occupations, sometimes you have to work extra and like on Saturdays, and that one even pays more. So as a 7-day Adventist, what should you do? Should you say, okay, and it's not going to be every time, sometimes you can miss, but then sometimes you have to go. As a 7-day Adventist, should you go or you should go to church?
Go to church. It is God who gives you the power to get wealth. If you follow money too much, you will get it, but you won't keep it. And it's more miserable for you to act, I'm making money, but I don't have anything to show for it. The Lord opens doors. The Lord gives the increase. So put God first. Matthew 6:33 says what? Seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. And all the toys of this world will be given to you. The Mercedes, the BMW, the Range Rover, and all those stuff. It is God who gives it. So if you trust God, you will do good. Taxi, when you drive a taxi in America, Friday night, 80% of people in that country gets paid on Friday night. Everybody gets paid every week or 2 weeks. So Friday, everybody got money. So if you drive Friday night, you make good money. And then you go on Saturday, you make more money. But I can't. I have to go to church. But when I go out on Sunday, I make more than what they did on Friday night and Saturday. But it's God who gives. You have to trust Him. You have to return your tithe, though, when you make that much money. So He can keep blessing you. So put God first in everything you do. And He will do it for you.
All right, it has been a great addition. And I'm sure you've learned a lot from the Lock-Eye Chamber up to the story of our brother James Jackson. Very exciting. And for our new panelists, Prince and Hetty, do you have any shout out you want to give to anyone?
Shout out to everyone, my mom, I don't know, my family, friends, yeah.
Prince?
To my family and friends out there, yeah, they should just keep focused on what they want to do in life, and they should pursue it.
All right. Thank you so much, and we've enjoyed having you on this show this evening. God richly bless you, and I'm sure some of us who are having difficulties in our career, the decision has been made a little bit easier. Stay tuned next week, and God bless you.